Hello, my name is Jackson Baird, and as of yesterday, I'm officially 1 year post-top surgery. I had double incision with Dr. Kathy Rumer in Pennsylvania, and honestly, things could not have gone better. I had no complications, I loved my results, healing has been great. So the way my body works with other scars is that I scar super easily. Like, we're talking bug bite scabs I get scars from. Or acne scars, as you can see. Most of these are not like present pimples, they just stay there, red and then kind of purple for a while, and eventually they go away. I have pretty much no scars on my body except for my chest scars because they do fade completely. So what I've sort of been anticipating is my scars are gonna look maybe a little worse than people's for the first year or two, and by like 2 or 3 they'll be kind of mostly not visible. Right now they're still pretty pink or kind of purple depending on how cold I am, which it is snowing. So much snow today, oh my gosh. So in the first couple of weeks when your scars are still like healing and the sutures are still in there and stuff, you don't really want to be putting anything on it unless your doctor tells you to. Once you get the all clear from your doctor and your scars are healed up, they will probably have recommendations of how you should treat your scars. You should definitely follow what your surgeon tells you to do. The first thing that my doctor recommended was this incision, which is just kind of like a 100% pure silicone that you rub on your scars. And then in the evenings, she recommended bio oil. And so that's what I did for the first several months, a combination of these two things. I really like the incision, but it is very expensive and you can only get it with a prescription. So after like 2 bottles of this, I decided to opt for a cheaper solution. The number one best thing for scars is silicone. No matter how you're putting it on there, if you're using 100% pure silicone, you are going to be in good shape. It turns out a lot of transmasculine people, to save money, just opt for a big old thing of lube. The price per ounce of like straight up fun times lube is going to be so much cheaper. Just yesterday, I started using this Sika solution, which again is 100% silicone. It's actually just like a deodorant kind of thing. And so you just kind of rub it on to your scars like deodorant. Here and there over the past year, I've been using scar strips. The most cost-effective and best results ones that I've heard of are ScarAway. That's probably the most common that you'll find. They're a little bit expensive, but not the most expensive on the market. A lot of surgeons will recommend that you do use scar strips, and some people who are super concerned about like trying to get their scars gone as much as possible will keep scar strips on 24/7 for like the first year, even 2 years. I definitely thought I was gonna be one of those kinds of people, but my surgeon didn't recommend scar strips, and you don't want to be using scar strips like right on top of some other thing like silicone gel or cream or whatever. So I guess I will go ahead and just show you what my scars are looking like now, because I know that's why everyone watches these videos. So yeah, they look especially red on camera in this lighting actually. But as you can see, if you run your fingers across them like that, that's about how they ultimately should look once they heal. I've got a little bit of like a dog tag right here, which is annoying because that's also like the only place where my scar has completely faded. This is really thick right here. I had a stitch stuck in there for like a week or 2 after the rest of the stitches had been taken out. But yeah, I mean, my dysphoria is pretty much gone, but I do have a healthy helping of like self-consciousness now, which is why I'm not like constantly posting shirtless pics like a lot of trans guys do after top surgery. You know, I've got a little bit of like, oh, you know, I could be like buffer, I could work out more, and I like don't have much hair yet, which I feel on someone who's like as pale and white and freckled as I am. I just look like a hairless mole rat. So there's all of that, which I feel is like normal male body issues, but there's also the fact that my hips are so high and so big that I feel like even when I'm like clearly shirtless and flat-chested like at the beach or the gym or whatever, I still maybe don't pass. Or if I do, I just look weird. It is not the look that I want on my body. I've always been more dysphoric about my hips and my thighs anyways, and now that like my chest is taken care of, I'm really focused on that part of my body and not being happy with it. I think I am finally starting to see some fat redistribution from T. I am April, May, June, July, 21 months on T. And for some people, that redistribution starts right away. For others like me, I actually gained weight on my thighs and my hips. I went up a pant size or 2. Hopefully, for a lot of people that happens to in the later years on T, you do eventually like slim back down and you start getting that more masculine figure. Might not happen. The number one thing to know is that that all doesn't happen like magically. You do have to work out, which I do off and on. All T does is help you gain fat and muscle in more masculine places. When you gain that fat and muscle, it doesn't magically like lose them from the existing parts of your body without you doing anything. As far as people seeing my scars, I don't care that much. Like if I'm at the gym or the beach, what does get me is like kids seeing my scars. Like there's been a couple of times I've either like hid under the water until the kids go away or just like straight up left because I know kids are gonna ask and I just don't know how I want to explain it to a kid. But overall, I mean, I just feel so much better. It is amazing to not have to bind anymore. My breathing and my endurance are so much better now that like my ribs and my lungs aren't always constricted. And as far as other transition stuff goes, I actually just realized that I almost had my court hearing for my name change scheduled on the exact day, January 6th, the same day that I had my top surgery. It is not that day. It turns out it's going to be January 13th, Friday the 13th. I'll have more information about the name change in a later video coming up soon. Also, the zine, the Free My Nipples zine, it is coming. This is a preliminary cover of Free My Nipples. So, you know, it is actually in progress. I'm not lying about that. My renewed goal right now is to have it complete for NerdCon Nerdfighteria, which is at the end of February. I will be selling some stuff at the Wizards in Space / Wizard Punk table there on Saturday. If you ordered a physical copy, I'll be sending them out around that time, and I'll also be putting them up online for you to order soon after that. Also, today is my buddy Liam's birthday, and he is getting top surgery in less than a month. I'm gonna put a link to his fundraiser down below if any of you are interested and able to help him out. He works for Athlete Ally, which does a lot of awesome work for LGBTQ athletes. They were instrumental in getting the NBA to pull out of North Carolina during the whole HB2 mess. And as he says on his fundraising page, if a college-educated white dude with a full-time job and a kick-ass support system perched nearly at the summit of Privilege Mountain can't access medically necessary care, imagine what this community is facing. And he is so right. So if you want to help the larger cause, as always, you can speak up about current issues, you can contact your legislators, you can volunteer your time and money to local trans supportive organizations and to binder/breastform/surgery funds and exchange programs. There are a ton of ways to help. I'll leave a bunch of links down in the description box. Hopefully this video was helpful to anyone who is considering or going through top surgery, and it was educational to all of you aspiring allies out there. Thank you to everyone who supported me through this process, and thank you for watching. I will see you next time.